Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you being here. When I mention Benjamin Franklin, what pops in your head? Probably 100 different things. For one, $100 bill. Maybe bifocals. Could be him flying a kite. Any one of those things could be it, and you'd be right because he is known for so many accomplishments. That's what I want to speak to you guys tonight about is how his early childhood goes on into his late years and how he accomplished so many and how he's become the most inspirational, influential founding father that we have here in America. So he was born January 17th, 1706 in Boston by Abiah Folger and Josiah Franklin. It's his mother and father. He was the 15th child of 17 children. 17 kids, yes, large family. And his family, they actually made candles and soap. So, which wasn't, I mean, it was a great job to have, but it wasn't the most money making, occupation. So he doesn't come from big bucks or anything, even though he's on the big buck. But anyway, he did come from humble beginnings, we can say. And he actually only had 2 years of formal education at the Boston Grammar School. So not much formal education. After he got out of school, he started helping his brother James in an apprentice shop in Boston. And he did that until he was 17 years old, and he moved to he moved to Philadelphia after that. Philadelphia, and after his apprenticeship with his brother. So, after his apprenticeship with his brother, he obviously felt like he could do it himself, so he did. And by the age of 22, he had purchased his own printer shop. So he was 22 years old and already running his own print shop. And working at the Pennsylvania Gazette, and later became the editor of the Gazette, which was actually the most influential newspaper at the time of that colony. So he was editor of it and later owned it also. And this is where he moves into, I'm sure all of you have heard of the Poor Richard's Almanac, and that was something that's his baby, and he wrote and published under the pseudonym of Richard Saunders. So everybody knew his work as Richard Saunders, and but what he did was it was real witty, and it would have short essays and humor. The man was a funny man also. So not only was he a genius, but he did have a sense of humor. This led him into the experimental aspect. He was a very scientific mind. So some of his early experiments in electricity, that's what gained his fame, really. That's how we came to know him with the kite. And the lightning rod is what he invented with that. So the conduction of electricity. And other key inventions that he had was the bifocals, those and the Franklin stove, which actually didn't just cook, but it was how it was beneficial to the colony was it would also heat the houses of these, and being in the North at that time, that was life-saving to many families. And these were some of the key notes of his inventions. So his reputation became one of most scientific minds of his era, the highest in that era. And he's still recognized today as being the brightest minds in inventions. Now, his politics, when he gets his role in the independence, he served as delegate to the Second Continental Congress and helped shape revolutionary strategies So his diplomatic work in France actually was very, very vital to the um, victory of the American Revolution. If if we wouldn't have had France come to our aid through the diplomatic work of Benjamin Franklin, we probably wouldn't even have a country right now. It's safe to say that. So it was very vital to have the French support during the Revolution. Very crucial. And in as far as the revolution goes, his signing of the foundational documents was very, very important. He was the only founding father to sign all of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Treaty of Paris. So he was the only founding father to sign all of those documents. His name is signed on those. And later in life, after the Revolutionary War, he didn't stop. He continued to accomplish monumental things. Public service. He served as a postmaster general. He was the president of Pennsylvania, a diplomat to multiple nations. So he spoke on America's behalf to many of these nations that we were creating relationships with that was vital to where we are as in the world today. Philanthropy, and civic contributions. He founded libraries. He the fire companies. So he was very influential in making fire departments for the colonies and educational institutions. He was one of the first ones to actually for slaves. He was pushing for the education of the slaves. That's a fact. Not many people are known. It's not spoke of today much, but that is a very important educational influence that he had. And those are just a couple of things that I can fit in to a 5-minute speech about Benjamin Franklin. We could go on and on with the accomplishments. There are so many essays and so much more influence that he had across the nation, across the globe, that has influenced so many aspects of our life today. And I just have the honor to speak on it. I'm glad I got to tell you guys of a little bit about his life and the way he will continue to inspire patriots in this generation and future generations. Thank you, guys.